Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Victor outplays Chelsea and Audra gets what she wants. Thursday, June 12, 2025. Today on The Young and the Restless, Jack's on to Audra and Victor. Nate worries about his girlfriend, and Nick convinces Sharon to come to Nice. At the club, Audra tells Nate about her invitation to Duma's party. She's sure her company will go viral. He questions her getting invited. She lies that she sent Duma her idea for the campaign and he was intrigued. Nate remains skeptical. It strikes Nate as strange that Duma is willing to fly her over for a publicity stunt for a perfume. The whole setup disturbs him. He's so private. Why would he want to be part of the stunt? It doesn't make sense. Audra is sure it will pay off. Is that not enough? Nate argues. He's an unknown who is not to be trusted. Audra thinks he's just upset that he fired his brother. Nate can't help but wondering if Lily, Devin, and now her are walking into some kind of trap. Audra thinks Nate is being a little paranoid. She shrugs that maybe Dumas be like Gatsby and not even make an appearance. Nate thinks the party is a tool, maybe even a weapon. Why is he luring these Genoa City titans across the world? What if he's making a move to take over Chancellor, Winters, or both? They go back and forth about this as Audra wonders how he could be a threat. She's sure Nate is overthinking this. Nate agrees the only way to find out what he's up to is to go. He decides, I'll go with you. Audra tells Nate, you don't want to do that. He'd like to spend some time with her in the south of France. She's sure he'll have his hands full with Winters and showing Damien the ropes. He also should be there for Amy. She goes on about him needing to close a big festival deal. Nate can manage all of that. Audra asks if he really thinks Lily and Devin can't hold their own. He knows she can. Nate would like to revisit the idea of the two of them in France in the future. Audra tells him they will after Vibranti becomes #1. Nate chuckles that she's ruthless. Audra invites him upstairs to help her finish packing and so she can say, au revoir properly. Nate likes this idea and they kiss. Nick coaxes Sharon to come along. Nick joins Nikki at the ranch, where she's finishing up her packing for France. He says his bag's in the car. He admits the Dumas thing is a giant question mark. Nikki wishes Victoria could join them, but of course she wants to be by Cole's side. At least he's stable. Nick says his parents should go to the airport. Without him, he's going to stop by Sharon's and convince her to come with him. At Sharon's place, she and Mariah coo over photos of Aria on her bike. Sharon thinks she seems calmer and asks if things are better. Mariah says she and Tessa started a dialogue. Sharon assumes she's ready to share what happened with her. Mariah hedges. We've opened the door. Sharon's happy and pulls her into a hug. Nick arrives and hopes he's not interrupting. He asks Sharon if she's changed her mind about going to Dumas' party in Nice. Mariah's been hearing that name everywhere. Nick thinks the party will be the perfect place for him to go public. Sharon doesn't see the big deal, but Mariah thinks it's a once-in-a-lifetime event. Sharon feels they're ganging up on her. Sharon's reluctant. She isn't sure she wants to be away from her family right now. Mariah would feel terrible if she missed out on an opportunity like this because of her. She assures her mother she and Tessa will be fine. She persists, and Nick tells Sharon not to argue with her daughter. Sharon smiles. Sharon worries Mariah might need her, but her daughter reminds her she can call. She also cover for her at Cassidy first. She promises to reach out if she needs her. Sharon enthuses, I'd better go pack. She goes upstairs, and Nick thanks Mariah for helping to convince her to go. Mariah wonders why he asked her. Is this turning into a thing? Nick insists he and Sharon aren't a thing. They've just been hanging out and getting closer. They had a blast in London. Mariah's glad to know Sharon can have some fun with someone she feels safe with. Nick notes Mariah's been through some hell too. That doesn't just go away. She guesses Sharon said something. Nick doesn't know the details, just that she's worried. Will she be okay without Sharon to lean on? Mariah assures him she'd be fine. The hovering is making things harder. I just need some space. Nick's got it. He tells her she can always come to him. Mariah tells him that offer means the world and they embrace. Sharon reappears, excited about the trip, but worrying about what to wear. Mariah touts the shopping in France. Sharon worries about work, but Mariah reassures her. Sharon warns her to answer if she calls. Mariah hugs her. Nick takes her bag, and they leave. Once alone, Mariah's smile fades. She looks at a framed photo of her, Tessa, and Aria. Chelsea's negotiation with Victor at Crimson Lights on the patio. Chelsea thanks Victor for making time for her before France. He asks what she wants. Chelsea's not a fan of using Newman Media to launch an attack on Billy. Adam agrees with her. Victor does not. He tells her she's wasting her time trying to get him to back off Billy Abbott. She's prepared to cut him a deal. She'll tell him the true identity of Aristotle Dumas. Her days as a con artist taught her how to read between the lines. She hasn't shared this information with anyone but him. He needs to be prepared to walk into the lair of the enemy. Victor smirks. I'll be damned. Chelsea tells him her information will give him more power and help him protect the family. Victor thinks she should tell him without making demands. Billy's a big boy. Why is she so insistent on helping him? Is she still in love with him? Is she using his son to distract from her feelings for Billy Boy Abbott? Chelsea will always care for Billy. He saved her life. She can't repair the damage she did by cheating, but she refuses to hurt him more. Victor asks why he'd give up something of value to him for information he already has. I know who Aristotle Dumas is. Chelsea tells Victor that he's bluffing. He says, "You're bluffing." She's lost her touch. Chelsea says this isn't a game. Victor thinks she's going to tell him that Aristotle Dumas is Tucker McCall. Chelsea says, "You got me. Tucker is Dumas." Victor thinks it makes sense and easy for her to make an educated guess. If it weren't, she'd be smart enough to present proof. Chelsea says, "Fine," and explains why it makes sense. Victor hates to disappoint her, but Tucker McCall is not Aristotle Dumas. Chelsea asks how he can be sure. Victor knows Tucker McCall's in prison in India. Chelsea gawps, oh, he admires her pluck. But she should abandon the idea of protecting Billy Abbott and protect his son and his work at Newman Media instead. Chelsea asks, if Tucker is not McCall, who is? Victor laughs. Have a nice day, Chelsea. Jack and Diane see through Victor at the Abbott house. Kyle tells Jack and Diane about Audra's idea for Dumas' party. Diane points out Kyle and Audra haven't been invited to the party. Kyle says Audra managed to come up with invites. They'd travel separately. Of course, he suggested Jack do the pitch, but she wanted someone closer to her age for the campaign. Jack Riley says he agrees with her. Kyle's the better fit. Diane warns about playing into Audra's hands. Kyle tells his parents there's no way Audra can beat them. Jack agrees, and the publicity will bring more eyes and hands to Jabbo products. They imagine taking Audra down. Kyle would love to be there to see it, but he'll have to find a way to crush her dreams from afar. It's not a good time for him to leave Genoa City. Jack assures him they can cover at Jabbo. He can then call Claire to see how she feels and how Cole is doing. Kyle walks off to call her. Diane lays into Jack that Audra can't be trusted. He thinks Audra is setting a trap for Kyle at the behest of the man pulling her financial strings. That would be Victor. Diane and Jack agree. Victor must be backing Audra's venture to weaponize it. He knows Kyle is their Achilles heel. They must be planning to trip Kyle up. It will hurt or destroy his relationship with Claire with the added bonus of negatively affecting Jabbo, Jack says. Luckily for us, Audra overplayed her hand. Diane can't understand why Jack is going along with this and putting Kyle in jeopardy. Audra's done enough damage, and why risk hurting Claire? Jack argues that Kyle needs to be the one to look Audra in the eye and tell her she failed. The best way for Kyle to pay Victor back for his interference with Claire is to call him out. He needs this Victor with Victor. Diane doesn't like it. Audra will be out for revenge. To be honest, it's not her mind for business that has me worried. She can't be trusted not to weaponize her sexuality. Jack reminds her Kyle loves Claire. Diane argues that what they have together is fragile. Jack argues he cares deeply about her heart. Jack completely trusts their son and wants to see him leave Victor with egg all over his face at Dumas' party of the year. Kyle returns to the room and tells them Cole's stabilized and Claire is on board with him going to Nice. He's off to pack a bag. Time to go to Duma party at the club. Nate carries Audra's bags downstairs and offers to take her to the airport. She has a car coming. Nate asks her to be careful and she tells him to stop worrying. Nate wants her to promise she won't get into any trouble. She coos me. Trouble. They kiss passionately. Just then, Audra gets a text from Kyle saying he'll see her in Nice. It's on at the ranch. Nikki asks if Chelsea was successful in dissuading him from going after Billy. He says she was not.